Streaming is on.
And then after we finish this proposal, let's go ahead and approve the rest of the proposals. So,
Okay.
are there any? The proposal is to approve our new 12 sessions per week overview schedule. Above is lines 18 through 44. So we have right here the new schedule proposal, line 18 through 44. So that's what we're proposing. And it's broken down into umbrella website work, SVG client work, and general team work. Are there any questions about the proposal?
No question.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Are there any concerns?
Yeah. No.
Moss, do you have any questions or concerns?
No. I think they are okay. I was just checking the how they have been spread, but I think it is okay because from the look of things I've understood, I think it is flexible enough.
And obviously things will change over time. It's expected. Stacy, do you have any questions?
Not yet. I'm still taking everything in. I might have some at the end, but I'm still not yet.
Sure. And so this will give us lots of opportunities to fit work into the schedule, and then also there's other times where we could schedule as well. So any objections to the proposal?
No objections. No.
So do we have consensus on this? All right, so while we're getting the new schedule set up, we have noticed that there's major problems in the schedule related to the actual start time. So we have a few policy proposals here.
No.
Can you mute, Alberto?
Yeah.
We have a few policy proposals here to simplify the schedule start, and then from there, anyone can schedule and make changes as needed. So basically, the first policy proposal is that all regularly scheduled sessions start 3 hours apart between octans to insert time for people to take legal breaks and have food, etc. Okay, so that's the first policy. And that's how we've always had it, basically, is that, you know, you want to make sure that there's breaks so that people can actually take care of themselves, and we're not just human machines, right? We're not just treating each other like humans, like machines. We're treating each other like human beings.
Okay.
From there, we would choose the management proposal to when we want to start all the octant scheduling. So I'm fine with, for example, just keeping it at octant hour 2, right? We could also do hour 1 or hour 3. So this session started at hour 2, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then all the local time. UTC hour, I think it's 8 p.m. But the bottom line is that it doesn't matter whether we do hour 1, hour 2, hour 3. I don't care about that. We just have to decide. But once we set it, the policy proposal would be that when we make changes to any octant, for example, let's say we say Hydra that we're going to start on hour 2. That would mean that the starting point is that every single session for our new schedule would start at the same time every octant at hour 2, right? So then if Hydra wants to change from hour 2 to hour 3, that's perfectly fine, but it would automatically propose for that particular day that if Hydra changed to hour 3, Andromeda would automatically change to hour 3, and then Cobalt would also automatically change for hour 3. So basically the policy proposal is that when making changes to the schedule in one octant, it would automatically change the schedule in every other octant for that day, either one time or obviously every single week. Okay?
Yeah.
From there, the policy would be if everybody does not agree to change, for example, Hydra hour 2 to Hydra hour 3, and people do not want to also change Cobalt and Andromeda to Hydra hour 3, Then the policy is that if 2 octants are scheduled within 2.5 hours or less, then it would be a minor policy tracking, which is 5 minutes. So the Hydra group could still schedule for Hydra hour 3, even if Cobalt starts at hour 2 or hour 1. It would just be against policy. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 3 policy proposals here, and then we need to decide when we want to set out our option scheduling. So I would propose we just, unless there's any discussions or concerns on these 3 policies, I would just propose that we approve all 3 of them. So are there any major questions about the policies before we try to approve them?
No.
No questions.
So, okay.
Making changes.
Right, cool. So the proposal is to approve 3 scheduling policies above. Approve the 3 scheduling policies above for starting sessions 3 hours apart, having changes affect all octants in a day, having changes in scheduling affect all octants in a day, and require policy tracking for any schedule that does not leave 2.5 hours. Now, obviously, the reason for this is clear. It is because when the sessions overlap, like typically when we're working, we go over the hour and a half. So typically it's like going to be 2 hours, sometimes 2.5 hours, sometimes even 3-hour sessions. And when they start overlapping, when you have one session that's at hour 2 and the next session starts at hour 1 or hour 2, and one starts at hour 3, it's just like it just all starts overlapping, and then people don't get breaks, and then it's just too much. And we're not able to really be organized and focused for the next session. Okay, so it's not a problem. Like, we're going to overlap sessions all the time. Sessions could go 3-4 hours. Even this session goes longer, which is why we purposely left a gap after the main session, because typically the main session goes longer than the 3 hours. But the point is that we're going to overlap. This is just to reduce the number of times we overlap. So are there any questions about the proposal to approve the 3 scheduling policies above? This is line 72 to 78. Any questions?
No questions.
Are there any concerns?
I'm not clear on what days. Not clear yet on what days the standing meeting is.
Yeah, this does not affect the day. So the policies is not applicable to each individual day. It's just applicable to the overall scheduling process.
Okay.
But the idea is that all days would have exactly the same schedule. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
To start with, right? And then once we get to the starting point, we can always change the schedule however we want to. But we just need to follow the policies, which is that it change the schedule for all octants, and it should change if the change actually takes place to go under the limit between octants, then it's just policy tracking, which again, it just all that means is you're doing it intentionally. Like if you want to schedule a session 1 hour before the next session, that is perfectly fine. You just need to know you're doing it. You can't ignore the fact that the next session is scheduled.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Yeah.
And so it's a minor policy. 5 minutes is nothing, right? So just making sure you're doing it on purpose. Any other questions?
No questions.
Any other concern? Any concern?
No concern.
No concerns. No.
Any objections?
No.
No objections.
No objections.
We are just on a roll on all of these proposals. It definitely is good to get organized ahead of the meeting, which is what we did. So we are very organized. So then the last part of this is simply just voting on where to start. Like currently, we usually start hour 2. Some sessions start hour 3.
15 minutes.
Oh, we're at 15 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a start. We're getting better here.
Mhm.
So it looks like so far we have, I mean, hour 3. I'm not against hour 3, but it's not my favorite. Let's see, 7.5, 6.5. So right now, hour 3 actually has the most support. So if we switch to hour 3, that would mean that.
But Stacy and Moth did not vote yet.
What?
Stacy and Moth did not vote yet.
Correct.
Moss is voting.
Making it clear that for you, Joyce and Alberto, right? If we do hour 3, that means that this session would start an hour later and go an hour later. Okay, are you clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Stacy, would you like to vote?
I'm keeping on this passing. Yeah, that's fine.
Well, no, this is you can vote for either hour 1, hour 2, hour 3. So for example, this session started at 1:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you vote for hour 2, that would be the current time of 1:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you vote for hour 1, it would start an hour earlier, which would be 12. And if you start for hour 3, it would be an hour later, which would be 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Can I ask, where is everyone leaning? Okay, I'm looking at it now, I guess.
Yeah, everyone's leaning for hour 3 right now. Hour 3 by far has the most support.
And that's starting at 2.
That would be starting.
Yes.
So push everything back 1 hour.
Let's go ahead and do with that.
Okay, so you would you want to vote, like you can vote for each one of these, like a 1 to 9 and 0 to 9.
Oh, okay.
Like each scheduled regularly scheduled sessions that we approved before, they are divided by, they're organized by octant, right? So each octant is 3 hours, right? So there's
Right.
hour 1, hour 2, hour 3. So this means that each of these sessions would start at hour 3 of that octant.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hydra hour 3, Andromeda hour 3, Cobalt hour 3.
Yes, unless the schedule was changed.
Yeah.
So,
So you don't have to vote. Like you can just abstain or whatever you want to do. Like it's perfectly
yeah,
fine.
I'd rather just put a vote on the one that suits everyone the most, because I think it suits me most.
You can choose a number between 0 and 9. So you just say the number and we'll put it for you. Otherwise,
8.
you just 8. Okay. And then you want to leave the other 2 blank?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So the proposal is going to be for all octant scheduling, the start time will be hour 3. Okay, this is a management proposal, and this is just to get us started. If we do not like the start time, we can always change it, and we can change it per day, or we can change it per octant, as long as we're following the policies. If we don't follow the policy, we do policy tracking. Are there any questions about the proposal? And this again, and that's sort of the details. This will push back next week's main session to start 1 hour later. Are there any questions?
Andromeda 3.
It would start Andromeda hour 3, correct?
Okay.
Are there any questions about the proposal?
No questions.
No.
All right. Are there any concerns? So,
Yeah.
I think there are concerns here.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for sure that I mean, Joyce and Moth have voted very high on starting our H3, right? So, for example, Andromeda and Cobalt. All right, Cobalt already. I mean, it's middle of the night for you guys, but Andromeda sessions, I'm concerned that, I mean, they would start so late for you guys that you would skip a lot of these sessions, right? So I would have expected for you to vote like starting hour 1, right? So you want the Andromeda session, and possibly with Cobalt starting hour 1, you could join some, because we know that, I mean, the most important sessions are obviously Andromeda and Cobalt, where Jay is always present. So I am confused about this voting. I would like to have some clarifications from the old world, right?
Yeah, for me, because I want to start at Hydra 3. So automatic all are 3, right? So that's why my vote is like that.
Yeah, but you see, this is why I'm concerned, because you're basing your vote on the session where the least work happens, right? Because
But that's not necessarily true, though. That is just based on what's happened in the past. So in the future, Hydra Hour 3 might be easier for more people to get to, including me and you, than Hydra Hour 1. Right? Because if you think about it, Andromeda Hour 3 is practically Cobalt. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what is going to happen in the future, right? I'm basing my concern
Well,
on.
you voted for it too. You voted for it too. So I mean, I feel like we could try it out and see how it works. It's obviously a concern that it's going very late for some people. Also, for me, Cobalt, you know, I mean, we're only scheduling Cobalt 3 days a week, but obviously going so late, it's going to obviously, you know, mess with my dinner and stuff like that. But we're discussing possibly doing the dinner early, and then I could do Cobalt Hour 3 might actually be after dinner, you know? So it might work perfectly. So
Yeah, I voted based on myself, right? Because I know that I'm trying to always have a session at Hydra as well, right? So, and I know that Hydra, and if I'm not in the session in Hydra, and I mean, you, Jay, maybe we change, but I mean, we know that usually you're not available in Hydra. So if I'm not available in Hydra, there's little happening, right? So I would like Hydra
Hour 3 for me is way easier than Hydra Hour 1, Hour 2.
Right.
Yeah, so this is my concern, right? Because I mean, the concern is that with this passing, I'm concerned that Joyce and Moth will not be able to do many Andromeda sessions. But if you say, Jay, that you will try to be available in Hydra, then this changes everything. Right? My concerns go away.
Well, let's just start with Joyce. Joyce, are you planning on changing any of your scheduling for Andromeda Hour 3? Because currently you are scheduled for Andromeda 6 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to continue to work Andromeda Hour 3? Are you going to continue to schedule Andromeda Hour 3? Yes.
Yeah, I will continue scheduling Hour 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Because anyway, so on the past weeks we've been like going through like 4 hours, 5 hours. So what's the difference? Right?
Exactly. So
What's the difference?
I agree there's major concerns here, but it sounds like, you know, it's worth it. Alberto, anything else you want to add?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat, Joyce?
I said for the past weeks we've been for 4 hours, 5 hours in the session. So what's the difference? I said. Right, Alberto?
Well, you know, the difference is that once you're in a session with Jay, you get so moved and so taken that, I mean, it's amazing. But when the session starts very late, then you're like, oh man, it's so late, right? No worries, if you make it to the session, I know, I mean, you stay there. But the problem is that, are you going to make it to the session if the sessions will be scheduled so late for you, right? This means basically Hydra Hour 3 is for you is 3 a.m.
No, Hydra Hour 3 is 12 midnight. 12 midnight.
It's 12.
No, wait. What time is it?
Yeah, so like for example, imagine myself a session starting at midnight, where against a session that starts 11. There's a difference, right?
Yeah. Well, and just to remind us, our goal is to get the new world set up and focused and organized, Hydra and Andromeda, and then once we're successful, and obviously this could take 6, 12 months, even a year, but eventually the goal is to have a full budget for Old World, so that people in Old World basically work full time in Old World and don't even have to interact with New World basically at all. I mean, that is the goal. Eventually, is going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we're going to get there eventually if we're successful, and by doing the work now, we're setting that foundation to be successful in the future. And people could move too. Alberto could move back to Italy. I could move to Spain. There's people move around. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I know exactly. We don't know what's going to happen, so we need to base. I mean, I'm okay. I only want to understand this voting from Joyce and Moss, because.
Okay. Well, we heard from Joyce. Do we hear from Moss?
All right. Yeah. So Joyce. Okay.
Yeah.
For Hydra is okay, but I think for Andromeda, I'll try to adjust on that. I think like about 2-3 sessions I'll be okay with. I'll adjust. I'll be very okay with that. Maybe can say for a start it can be a bit a challenge, maybe for the first 2 sessions, but going forward, I think I'll be able to adjust. Yeah, because mostly it is there's less activities going on, so I think it is okay for me.
I don't know.
Good for you, Alberto. Do you have more questions?
I don't know. I'm not feeling good with this vote because I think, I mean,
I feel like for me personally, I just don't
be concerned.
1 hour, 2 hour, 3. What's important is that we have a clear start time, that everyone's starting at the same time, and then we can organize the sessions, over the time. Like, for example, we could also do something where, like, Monday starts hour 1, Tuesday starts hour 2, Wednesday starts hour 3, Thursday starts hour 1, Friday starts hour 2, Saturday starts hour 3, and in that way it would kind of create a tiered system where we are, experimenting with different models, to see what works best for the team. So
All right. So I've changed my vote. I'm changing my vote.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm voting 8.5 for H2 and a 5 for H3, and yeah, changing my vote. For me, it's fine. I can organize myself for.
Oh, you can do the same for me then.
Stacy, you want to change your vote?
Yeah, let's make it the same as yours.
8.5 for H2 and 5 for H3.
Sure.
All right.
Because either for me is fine, and I want to be most flexible for the group.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about the work getting done, right? So, all right, yeah, let's see how this goes. I think H2. Let's change the proposal to H2.
And I hear you, Alberto. You're only starting in H3, so I thought you are available.
Yeah, but that's why my concern, because I saw that you're voting more based on what we are voting, but you should vote on yourself, right?
I'm voting for myself. I'm not looking at your votes. It's for me.
Yeah.
It's
No,
up to
okay.
me, right?
No. I mean, if you tell me, no, don't worry, Alberto. I'm fine with that. It's I like it.
I mean,
I just want.
Go ahead, Alberto.
Yeah, it's up to me. If I condition myself that
exactly.
I will be. Yeah, right. If I condition myself H3, H2, then I will be the one. It's up to me.
Yeah. No, I know that. That's why I was having a concern that I raised my concern, because I wanted to have more clarity from you guys. Right? But cool. Anyways, I changed my vote.
All right, so everybody can vote whichever way that they want to, based on however they decide to vote. There's no requirement on the voting. I will mention that as we get our segmentation model set up, we are going to actually want people to say why they're voting the way that they want to vote, but that's a separate thing, right? Anyways, but in the session, you're not required to say why you're voting, but anyways, you can always ask. So let's go ahead and take a break. I think we're at the 5-minute break. Obviously, this is more of a contentious, decision, but I think it's a very important decision, and it's affects every single day of our lives, in terms of our schedule. So I think it's very important to vote on the proposal that we already started, and if people want to vote no, it is fine. So Alberto, just vote on this. We'll just see where that is at. Then we'll have an additional proposal for voting for starting hour 2. So I'm going to put that down on line 113 to start for hour 2, and then everyone can vote on that break as well. And then we're also, I think we should also vote on this other idea that I had. I'm not expecting to pass or whatever, but it's just interesting, the idea of voting on the tiered system, where basically every day is different and we can kind of see what happens.
And also, can be 0.5 H point, what's that? Our 1.5, our 2.5,
We can
like
choose
that.
anytime we want to. There's nothing wrong with doing that. We just need to understand that we want something that's accessible to the public, because some of these sessions will be public sessions as well. So I obviously prefer the start time to be the top of the hour.
Okay.
I think that makes it easier for the public to engage and get involved. But again, we can choose whatever time we want to. There's no like limit. So anyways, there's 3 proposals here. I think we should just go ahead and vote on all 3 during the break, and we'll take let's just take a 7-minute break so people can vote a little bit, take a break, come back, vote a little more, whatever they want to do. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.